Yeah. Boy, do I have something stupid for you today, folks. Greetings, ladies and gents, my name is Heels of the Bearded Balkan Blabbermouth and I am discussing, and today I want to talk about something that I didn't think that we would see a continuation of since 2017 and by the same person, and that it would still be talked about in this day and age. I mean, how can you call yourself an expert or something, or somewhat of an authority figure, if you do not even have the capacity to go through what is basically the basics of a game? And that's it: playing the game, going through a boss, and completing the game. They should be in every games journalist's resume if they're to review or promote a game. However, apparently that's not what the situation is. We go to the old favorite Kotaku with an article from yesterday from John Walker, who I actually remember writing an article a long time ago. And I actually found the fucking article by John Walker on October 2nd, 2017 in Rock Paper Shotgun, who says, "Now Ubisoft open the door, can we have our skip boss fight button?" Now, I remember that I read that article then and I laughed so hard, because skipping a boss to me as a gamer is something utterly alien. Skipping boss fights and stuff like this is utterly idiotic to me, in the sense that if you want to play a game, if you want to enjoy a game, if you want to get immersed into a game, then you need to be prepared for what the game will deliver. And that's why games usually have difficulty levels, and I think that there's no shame in playing on a lower level. If you're not that good of a game but you enjoy the game, yeah, play it on the easiest level so you can have the best chance of enjoying yourself and just passing through the bosses. However, don't skip them, because a boss fight usually is something unique in and of itself in a good video game. But the article goes, could we be about to enter a skippable boss fight utopia? I hope not. South of Midnight has shown it's possible without destroying the very fabric of the universe. No, it didn't. And I did Soul Smash JT react to this live, and I just wanted to put my 2 cents into the story as well. In a gaming world increasingly built out of Souls-likes, where the concept of the boss battle becomes the central game mechanic, some of us have been left behind. I have always hated boss fights, and while I have no interest in convincing anyone else to agree with me, I have long lamented the lack of accommodation made for the many other people who are already with me. But sniff the air, something is changing. What other people, like anyone who is a gamer, even if a boss fight is the most frustrating thing, they get good, they acquire the knowledge, they learn from their mistakes, and they eventually get good enough to finish the boss fight. And that is what is called accomplishment, and that is what is called the sense of being good at something, of bettering your skills, of being able to succeed where you failed before. That's one of the reasons that these games exist, because you are provided with the sense that you are getting good, that your skills are getting better, and that you accomplished something within that game. It is a good sense, it is a positive sense, and the relief and the good feelings that flow inside of you when you do this are amazing. It's euphoric. I'm on expedition 33 and I do have some difficulties with a lot of bosses. I play 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times of bosses sometimes, and when I finally finish it, you have no idea how good it feels, because I finally beat it. I finally did that fucker in. That is the accomplishment that every gamer seeks within the thrill of the gaming experience itself. But the article continues, I recently loaded South of Midnight, interested to check out such a gorgeous looking game, sure, and was immediately delighted by the art and the extraordinary performances in the cutscenes. But then, as Zach warned us, I was immediately underwhelmed by the repetitive combat. However, while idly fiddling through the game's settings to see what was what, I saw, though I absolutely was not expecting boss skip option, and we have here the screenshot, and we have here at the bottom boss skip option. Now, don't get me wrong, I kinda understand why games, especially like Souls-like games or the most difficult types of RPGs, would possibly have such a button, or at least something that would ease up on the momentum for some gamers. However, there is something that we have to acknowledge here. If you need that, if you need so much handholding to complete the game, then you probably shouldn't write about it from a gamer's perspective. In 2017, he explains that he wrote one of the most controversial articles of my career, and he has received apparently death threats, sure you have, alongside hundreds of more banal insults and wishes for my immediate demise. Yeah, sure you have. He continues, there's so many games I've never seen the end of it, but for YouTube, I suppose, because I just wasn't physically capable of completing the later bosses. I've never finished a Metroid Prime game, for instance, despite it being one of my all-time favorite gaming series. How can something be an all-time favorite game series if you haven't finished all the bosses and you haven't completed the game? You might find out that the end of the game is absolute shit. How do you know? There are other games I've been enjoying so much but just had to abandon because every so often there will be a difficulty spike of such enormous disproportion that eventually I'd lose all will to try. And to be abundantly clear, this isn't just about my incompetence. Actually, it is. You sound very incompetent and you're turning it exactly in that direction. There are obviously a billion boss fights I've successfully completed. Sure, obviously. Yeah, trust me, bro. But almost none I've seen vaguely enjoyed. For me and millions of others, there are mostly tedious obstacles that get in the way of enjoying the rest of the game. You know what this sounds like to me? It sounds like someone wants to play a game just like Kitchen Simulator or Water Plant Simulator or something relaxing that has no spikes, no interest, no adrenaline, nothing. And when something like this happens, you're like, I cannot stand it, this is too much for me, I cannot do it. I mean, yeah, such people exist. They're not really gamers and they want to just relax in front of something similarly boring and stuff like this. However, those people should not have any authority or any voice that would count as something to say anything about the gaming industry. So it struck me, why not just let me skip past them? Who loses out? Well, it turns out the answer to that question in 2017 was very angry people. Actually, no, it's not very angry people. It's people who you're trying to fool that you're some sort of an authoritarian figure that has any sort of power and a saying from an expert standpoint. You claim yourself to be a gaming journalist. You write for a gaming journalist website, and you're supposed to be someone that people should go and look for his opinion because they have played the game, they have reviewed the game, and they have given their opinions about the game. However, this doesn't sound like it. For reasons never quite comprehensively elucidated, I already did that, my being able to carry on playing a game I like without finishing a specific fight causes them great personal injury. To skip over bosses, I was told both a moral and physical affront to the addition of such an options would very like destroy video games, if not all of society. Sure, just skip the bosses that people worked on to enhance the game and to give you an adrenaline rush when you defeat them and immerse you even more, just because you're incapable of doing that. Yeah, sure, why not? And then you go and write something about the game. How are you gonna write about a very active and very prominent aspect of every self-deserving RPG game or action game or even story-driven games if you don't do them? It's like me writing a book on thermonuclear physics without ever studying it. I'm just gonna give my opinion, but I'm gonna skip it because it's too hard on me. If school or life were like that, then we would be in much trouble. And yet in the month since Out of Midnight released, I have yet to witness the collapse. Sure, yeah, that's what you need to do, that you need to joke about it, and yet you still have a job supposedly, and you still write about video games, and you still present yourself as some sort of authority, even though you are clearly presenting yourself to not have any of it. He continues, this is not the very first time a game has offered a way past tough spots. A fair few big name games have had options to let you skip entire missions should you fail them enough. Red Dead Redemption 2 and Days Gone, for instance, while many others will offer to lower the difficulties you're playing, but it's still vanishingly rare, and South of Midnight is the only instance of specifically being able to skip the bosses that I'm aware of, and hopefully it is the only one. And it harms no one, he says. Not even that guy you know, Dave, the one who's still on a rank, says get good. It just lets more people play more games the way they want to. If you want to play the game like that and skip the bosses, then yeah, sure, you're gonna have your kind of fun. However, that's not why games are made. Games are made with increasing difficulty and for different difficulties for exactly the reason to give players the ability to get good and to enjoy themselves, becoming better at the thing they enjoyed playing in the first place. If you remove that, you're basically giving everyone a participation trophy. Games become boring, game becomes sanitized, and you don't get any enjoyment from them at all. And that's the issue. That's what some people are trying to do with everything. They're trying to sanitize movies, they're trying to sanitize games, they're trying to give everyone the exact same ability to do everything in life. This is not just about video games, this is happening in life as well, and that is an issue. Not everyone can do everything the same way as another person. That's why some people are better at something and other people are not, and that's how things should be. That is the incentive that gives people who are not that good to work hard and become better. And that's what's happening in games. You have people who are not that good, but when you do this, when you provide them with difficulty and when you provide them with a story interesting enough that delivers on the promise of good achievements and good things that happen when you achieve that boss fight, when you finally get good enough and defeat that boss, to get a reward, to get an achievement, to finally feel the satisfaction of overcoming an obstacle that has been in front of you for all that time, preventing you from progressing in something that you have found to be amazingly interesting. I will give another example with Expedition 33. The more difficult the bosses are, the better it feels when you finally defeat them, because it is a turn-based game. I'm not a turn-based guy. I have played 2 turn games before Expedition 33 in my entire life, and one of them was Heroes 3. It didn't involve that level of skill that Expedition 33 demands, and I am progressing through the game. I'm getting better. I'm getting better at parrying, at dodging. I'm getting better at even commanding my own team to be the best well-oiled machine that it can in order to defeat the bosses. And it is amazing feeling. It is a good feeling to know that I'm getting better, that I'm evolving in that game, and the rewards from that experience are amazing. You get experience, you get progression in the game, you get good, and every next thing that you do feels more natural. That is the essence of what games are. Immersiveness, good times, getting the achievements, feeling joy from doing that. And yes, it's all virtual, and yes, you can have skip boss and just enjoy the pretty pictures. Yes, you do have games like that, and if you enjoy games like that, play games like that, but do not ever assume that you will not set up a resistance against you if you attempt to deprive true gamers, real gamers, because this guy is not a true gamer. If he wants to deprive gamers of this gaming experience, he's going to get a very, very huge wave of backlash against him, and I will be part of that wave. I want to get good. I want to become better. I want boss fights. I want tough boss fights. Why? Because I know that when something like this happens, and in the terms of Expedition 33, I get the rewards that I have fought for so many long hours. I will know that it was worth it. I will feel complete. I will feel accomplished. And that's how it needs to be. And that's why games like Expedition 33, that's why Souls-like games, that's why JRPGs, that's why games like Doom, like progressive difficulty games are amazing, because they can provide you with that challenge that you need in your life. You need to overcome challenges. You need to become better at dealing with challenges. This is how it is supposed to be. And he continues, but could Sound of Midnight be the start of a trend? And no, Dave, I don't mean I'm demanding that Souls-like games in which the entire body is mastering the techniques required for all 8 trillion bosses and let me skip every moment. I mean, it'd be brilliant if they did. I'd love to explore the lands between, because that place looks amazing, if not for all the immediate dead. As games superbly copy one with their accessibility options, could we start to see the boss fight skip button become standard? Hopefully not. Hopefully nobody listens to you. Nobody. I hope that what you said goes into the dust and it doesn't ring any bells at all. It's an impossible thing to believe, because we're never allowed nice things. That is not a nice thing. That is a nice thing for you, and you're incapable of getting good at video games because you're not interested in games, apparently. The gatekeeping around the topic is about as fierce as anything gets in this hobby, so many days horrified that others might enjoy a part of a game for which they have not demonstrated their worth, but I still allow myself a glimmer to stare through the crack in the wall of South of Midnight has offered at the beautiful sunlit fields beyond. Oh, such profound words, and utterly bullshit. This is a bullshit article, and it needs to remain a bullshit article. I have no respect and no temperance, no patience for such articles. This should not be taken seriously, and video game developers should not take this seriously. If you want to have skippable boss fights, have them in your own games. This should not be a thing. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy so far, if you enjoy my content, please click the like and subscribe button, click the join button, and become part of the DiscussThing Guild. We gather money for homeless animals and animals in shelters, and for my future growth as a channel. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Hills, this was DiscussThing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers and stay fresh.